Welcome back to San Joaquin Audits. On this channel, we look at police videos that give us a better understanding of the current state of policing. Today's video brings us to Ohio, and it involves the Fairborn Police Department. This video is going to piss you off. You're going to see two cops that have no problem violating people's rights and then telling them to deal with it in court. I'm going to leave the number to the Fairborn Police Department in the top left corner. Feel free to call if you think you need to. Also, be sure to go subscribe to Sid the Scientist before this video ends. Let's watch.
Thank you.
What is your current
Question, why is that needed?
I'm entitled to have your current address because I'm issuing a citation. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to sit out here and evade it for a long time. If you don't give me your current address, you're probably going to be going in and paying bond and stuff.
So hear me out. I'm just trying to figure out, proof of insurance, license.
All the information I'm asking you is necessary for a traffic citation.
Proof of addresses?
I'm legally allowed to ask you these questions.
I know you're legally. I know you're. Hear me out. I know you're legally able to ask me the questions, but I'm more worried about, am I legally obligated to answer the questions?
I'm telling you, you are. Yes. If I don't have your current address and other information I'm going to ask you about for this ticket, you are going to go into the station and pay bond on this ticket.
That's fine. I'll give it to you, but first, can you give me your name and badge number?
I'll give it to you on the ticket. It'll be documented for you there.
I would still like verbal documentation.
It'll be written down for you.
Okay, and if it's not legible,
you will leave here with it printed out where you can see it. If you can't see it, you let me know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If it's not legible to me when I'm able. Okay, I'll give you my address.
What is it?
I mean, honestly, I don't feel that the law stat. I've looked up the state statutes for Ohio.
Here's the deal. If you want to consult with an attorney afterwards, you're welcome to either sue me in court, or you're welcome to come up to the police department after you consult your attorney and file a complaint. Do what you need to do. Okay, but in the meantime, I need this information.
People, this is why we must end qualified immunity right now. That phrase that officer said, "You're more than welcome to sue me in court," they are way too comfortable being sued for violating citizens' rights because they face no real consequences. If you think about it, qualified immunity is a blanket that covers them whenever they exhibit misconduct on the job.
What's the zip code?
I understand what you're saying legally, but it does not, selling in court.
Can I get a phone number?
No, I'm not getting that. So legally in court does not help me from infringing of my Fourth Amendment rights.
Can stand by here with you?
You can stand, sir. How you doing? What's that?
Listen,
Kohler, what's your badge number, sir?
Do not attempt to get in the truck in the meantime, okay?
Why would I given you the impression I'm attempt to flee? I haven't given you an impression I'm fleeing, so I don't understand the question or the comment, the command. What's the badge number, sir?
257.
Thank you, sir.
And I'm only asking out of curiosity, tell me now, what's your name? What's your name? And I'm just asking so I can address you.
He has my license, so I'll give it. Sid, Sydney.
Sid?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's all I want to know. Just if I have to address you, I just want to call you by your proper name.
That's fine. I guess it's more of, I've looked up the legal statute for IDing in the state, and even on traffic stops, it does not state that I have to give address. I need to give proof of insurance, license, and then insurance registration. And so he asked me for insurance, he asked me for my license. I do not have to provide an actual address where I stay.
The problem is it's for all courts. Okay. Because if you
That's
don't
not
show up,
legal though. Your process is not my concern.
You're right, it's not. And I can appreciate that 100%. But our other choice is, if you don't identify yourself properly and give us a valid address, then we have to go and take you in and have you postponed.
It's sure, sir, and I would buy that. But the problem is, I have legally validated my.
But you haven't given us an address locally, and you live.
He has my license.
It's not local though.
But my license is current.
But you live there still?
My license is current. I'm military. I don't have to. It doesn't have to be a current address. I'm military. We can claim legal residency of a state that we have been in. It does not have to be the current. And the law does not state I have to give you a current. I'm not trying to be.
You need to deal with the courts, okay?
Yeah, but again, dealing with the courts is after the fact that my Fourth Amendment right has been violated. That's the problem.
But even then, if you feel that way, then you're still going to have to address it later. It will not get resolved here.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
It won't.
Possibly.
No, it won't.
It's
I
possible.
guarantee you, it's not going to get resolved here. It's still going to be a legal matter for the courts.
I mean, honestly,
That's all it is.
I could push the issue. We can go in. You can pay a bond. I don't understand what my address is going to do. Again, the address is, like you stated, for your processes, right? Your processes. But the law does not state that I have to cooperate for your processes, right? That's the only thing I'm getting at. I'm trying to abide by the law.
And neither. I'm assuming
Yeah,
neither
but
are you.
you are a police officer, you're a law enforcement. You need to know the law.
I do.
Okay,
I know
then.
I know it well enough to tell you that this is the way that it's done for this department and this court. And that's the end of that discussion. And I'm not
I
trying to
mean,
be
so
rude.
you can tell me it's the end, doesn't mean I have to stop talking about it. I mean,
Right.
but what I'm saying is, yeah, it's the way it's done for the department, it's the way it's done here, but the way it's done does not equal law. If it's, like, I've seen people do things that's against the law, but it's the way it's done. I'm in the military. I've seen plenty of things done that was against the law, but it wasn't the right thing to do. And so that's the only thing I'm saying is, like, I readily gave him the information he asked for. It was his license. He asked my insurance. I gave it to him. He asked for all. And I don't have to give you a current address. That's what I'm saying. That's not in the law. That's not in the actual statute that I looked up. I mean, if maybe I looked at the wrong statute. Do you remember the statute? I can look it up.
I don't. I don't, because I'm not an attorney, and that's not something that I'm required to know verbatim or anything else.
But you are law enforcement, and that's what I'm saying is
And on
you
this-
are required to enforce the law. Therefore, you need to know the law.
This is a very true statement, and I gotta give Sid his props for bringing it up. Let's say I worked at Pizza Hut and I didn't know how to make a pizza. Let's say I worked at Taco Bell and I didn't know how to make a Mexican pizza. How long do you think that I would last at those jobs? Those are supposed to be entry-level jobs. This law enforcement officer has a white beard, so I'm guessing he's been on the force for a while. How come it's okay for Officer Kohler to not know the law? Let's keep watching.
I'm not asking you to know it verbatim, but you at least need to know the law, right?
I know enough of it to tell you that this is the way it's happening. And on the citation, you will see, on the citation you receive, it will have your address from your driver's license. And it will also list current address. And I can't change that.
Sure. Let's agree to
Simple
disagree.
as that. Yeah, exactly. I got no problem with that.
Yeah.
And I'll be more than happy to show you exactly where it's at and answer the question the best I can.
Yep. Cool.
You know. And I'm only asking, but are you facing it right now?
I have no problem answering questions as long as I don't think it's actually infringing on my rights. I answer questions.
I appreciate that 100%.
I'm kind of curious. I want to ask you this question. Is there a law that states that I have to roll my windows down?
You have to.
What law?
You either roll one down or you open that door. But in Ohio.
What law?
Again, I'm not an attorney.
Sir, I'm not asking you as an attorney. I'm asking you as a police officer who's enforcing it on someone. What law?
What do you mean, what law?
That states I have to roll down the window.
Are you looking for a code number or something like that?
Yeah,
What-
something.
I don't have that. I don't have that. I don't recall
But you
that.
know there's a law that state I do. Okay. I'm only reason I'm asking because I looked it up and I have not seen any law that states that I have to roll it
You
down.
have to comply to a certain point.
Sure.
Listen, hear me out.
Yeah,
please.
okay.
You have to comply to a certain point, and we're asking you to do something reasonable. Okay? Again, your driver's license is not carte blanche to do whatever you want. It's a privilege in the state where you're living.
True, sir, but I can also say the badge is not a carte blanche to do whatever
You're
you
right.
want. You have to actually go by laws, and that's what I'm saying. The law states that if you ask me for like case law itself says that for police safety purposes, if you guys ask me to get out of the car, right, to step out of the vehicle, I must comply, right? And that's one of those, I must comply with the officer's
Do you
request.
know that number by heart? Do you know that? Because you're asking me, so now I turn around and ask you, do you know what that is?
No, I actually don't, but I will.
Right.
I mean,
Again,
I can call.
I'm not trying to be difficult, as you said. Okay. Again, you're debating questions that I can't give you every single technical law.
And I understand that. That's what I'm saying. But I do know for sure that there is not a law that states I have to roll down my window.
Okay, and if that's the case, again, this is not the place to debate it. The courts are. It's not going to get resolved here. You understand that?
No, but this can be a good back and forth between civilian and officer. It's a learning lesson, right?
Exactly.
So if I'm stating I know there's no law, instead of saying,
And what
well,
happens when if you find out there's no law, okay, what's the resolution for that?
is to have this debate with you guys.
Right. But in the end, what is going to be the resolution?
Well, if I know there's not a law to roll down the window,
If you go and you're able to prove that, what will be our resolution for that?
I guess education for you guys on the fact you can't force someone to roll down the window.
Absolutely. What if you find out that it is a law?
Then I stand corrected, and I can come to the police officer and ask for Officer Core and explain, hey, sir, I looked it up and I'm wrong.
And that would be great.
It would be.
And I do appreciate the debate. I really do.
Yeah. But again,
I'm telling you, I'm not an attorney. Right? It's a reasonable request. If you feel it's infringing on your rights, then great. That's what the courts are for, and unfortunately, that's how it has to be resolved.
True. I don't know, sir. You keep going to the statement of you're not an attorney, and I understand that, and that's why I'm telling you, I'm asking the questions not of you as an attorney. True. But again, I guess to me, not saying you're trying to be, but to keep repeating that you're not an attorney is a little condescending to me because I know you're not an attorney. Again, I stated I don't trust. I don't think you are, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not asking you these questions from the vantage point of an attorney. I'm asking these questions from the vantage point as an officer who's enforcing the laws. And that's like if you tell me, hey, Sid, I don't know that law, right? I don't know off the top of my head.
I don't.
Right, and that's a fair answer. That's a fair answer, right? And that's why I'm saying, okay, well, I know I've looked it up and there's no law, right? And I will tell you how it went, right? He told me to roll my window down. I rolled down halfway. He rolled around all the way, and I didn't want to, and so.
All I can ask you is, and this is just a conversation. I have no interest in the outcome of this regardless. I just don't want you to be. I don't want nothing bad to happen to you. I don't want nothing bad to happen to him.
Copy.
I want this to be as simple as possible. We obviously had a reason to stop you. I wasn't here. I don't know what it was. Okay. And, I mean, at the point where you roll your window down, and I'm just asking you, if you've already rolled your window down, what's the harm in rolling it down all the way? I'm going to ask you.
Right, so you can ask that, and I guess to the layman's person, there is no harm in rolling it down all the way. But I would also ask you, what's the purpose of making it roll it down when you can hear me?
It's not that we can just hear you alone. It's we also need to observe. Okay? And you have tinted windows in your vehicle that may not even be legal in the state of Ohio. And you're in Ohio. You reside in Ohio. Okay? No, I mean, I'm asking you. I mean, if that's where... Again, we're having that...
My license has my state of residency. I'm a Florida resident.
You don't live in Florida, though. You're in Ohio.
Temporarily.
And you're driving a vehicle in Ohio. So you can't just carte blanche and say, in Florida, we're allowed to drive, whatever car. But in Ohio, the laws may be different.
True, but let's be honest.
That's all I'm saying.
I have never stated I live here. He asked for the residence and address. I didn't state I lived here.
You live here.
How do you know?
I bet if we contact the military and find out where you live, they're going to tell you that you're here.
I mean, you can contact them, but
I mean, would that be a reasonable? Would that be reasonable if I was to say, does he live here? They say, yeah, yet?
Probably not.
And that's all I'm at. Once again, I'm not gonna. It's no big deal to me.
No, that's why I'm having the dialogue with you. I'm having a dialogue with you. It's just me. I
mean, reality is, you're unhappy about it, and I appreciate that 100%.
Yeah. Well, again, from my standpoint,
Yeah.
I know what I have to follow, and I know what I don't have to follow. And for him to ask me to get out the vehicle, 100% I have to follow that. That is the law. And so the window down was, plus he wasn't even at a point to look in the vehicle and was already yelling about the window. He was still standing behind.
And again, the only thing I can tell you there is, it's up to you. But I mean, you can look at it from whatever viewpoint you want, and I appreciate it 100%. You're not right. You're not wrong. This is just a debate as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that's it.
Because I can't prove right, wrong, or indifferent.
That is true.
And there you have it, folks. In my opinion, the Fairborn Police Department gets F because these officers couldn't prove otherwise whether it was a law or not. But Sid, in my opinion, gets an A because he handled it more professional than these officers did. Not only that, but he called out Officer Kohler on his hypocrisies of not knowing the law while being a law enforcement officer. This is why you always film your police interactions. Thank you as always for tuning in to San Joaquin Audits. I'll be back with another video soon.